dudes and dudettes, metalheads, raise those horns. It's time for Roast Mortem, the heaviest show ever. Squeal! 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 Squeal!
Brother.
In all seriousness, welcome to Roast Mortem. It's the only show worth quoting on any of your research papers. My name is Tom.
My name is Travis, terrifying Riffs Lee.
And all the way from Not for Human Consumption, we have Dylan, friend of the show.
What's happening, guys? How's it going?
Hell yeah.
It's going, man.
We reached out to you because, I listen to the show all the time, and I know your love for our subject, or maybe lack thereof, love.
Listen, I am a fan. Big influence on me as a musician, but their fans kind of ruin it for me, honestly. I think Pantera fans might be the worst fan base.
Before we get into shredding guitars and bees in a jar style guitar tones, Dylan, how was your week?
My week is going pretty good, you know? Happy to be here. I don't think I've been on with you guys. You've been on with us. We've had drinking competitions. We've done a lot of nonsense. But I think it's the first time I've been over here, so pretty stoked about that.
Yeah, we're trying to collect them all. We had Matt on.
Yeah.
We had your shitty, despicable human ex-host on. We just need Jay, and now we need Walt.
Well, Jay's fucking upstairs. I could just go have him just sit behind me and just yell loudly in the background.
That's a good idea.
Can't hear you. Yeah, I think should be able to get us all in there. And you guys are slowly going to come back on our show, too. I think you're coming on this week, Travis, and then we need to get you on, too. So it's nice to break it up and not have fucking, 8 people trying to talk over each other through video calls.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Mike told me he wasn't going to show up tonight last minute, as he does, in true Mike form, and I was kind of relieved. Because, what the hell? You know, now
some room.
Yeah, 3 of us, we have a little more speaking. We're not talking over each other. It's not total chaos, especially in such a informed biography that we're about to go into. But Travis, how was your week?
Oh, my week was all right. I went down to the coast of Oregon, or actually Washington, sorry. Listened to some jazz, swingy music, and watched some fireworks. And, yeah, it was a very weird hotel we stayed in. They had a distillery there, and it was like spa. It was like all of it, dog. But it's not like going down to Aruba or anything. This is the coast of Washington. It's very cold. So you just kind of sit on the beach and shiver.
Gee, I haven't been up there in a long time. I need to get back up that way. I like it up there. It's nice.
PNW. There's a weird thing. I feel like I've met more people in Oregon that either are from Arizona or vice versa. I feel like they're sister states.
Apparently, I don't know if it's fucking true, but Springfield, Oregon is supposed to be the Simpsons Springfield. That's where the creator is from. You went to college there or some shit. So I don't know if it's fact, but the people that live there love to fucking tell you about it.
Oh, yeah. In the neighborhood I'm in, all of the characters of The Simpsons are named after all the roads. So we have, Flanders Street and Quimby, all these, different... They actually just built the bridge. It was the Ned Flanders Bridge. It's a pedestrian bridge.
Wait,
and
really?
Matt Groening showed up and signed it or something. I don't know.
He would. He just would.
Tom, what about your week?
Thanks for asking, Travis. We're just coming out of New Year's. So, as that was within the week, on New Year's Eve, I got very drunk, and I listened to CKY.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, changed it up. Every now and then you need something that is... It has a low grumble. It makes you believe in rock and roll. And then you realize that it's all falling apart. Anyway.
They have the coolest synth guitar tone that exists.
Oh, yeah. Dude, it's just great party music.
It is. It's really good music. Which album were you listening to? Just a mix?
It was the one with Flesh into Gear.
The something rebuild, destroy, rebuild.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah. It's
Who
a good
remembers
one.
that?
I like.
That was fun.
I listen to them frequently. Like, I'll just throw them on random in a mix, just like usually that one, their one hit.
96 Quite Bitter Beings.
Yeah, because it's just it makes you feel good.
Yeah. So
that guitar riff makes you feel good. I don't know why, it just fucking does.
I'm really glad that they got Don Vito on vocals for all of their songs.
Actually, their vocalist was kicked out of CKY, and now he has another project called 96 Quite Bitter Beings. And he's also married to Felissa Rose of Sleepaway Camp fame.
Oh.
So that's fun. Little knowledge that's
some deep knowledge.
A little useless at the moment.
See, this is why I'm so excited for this show, because, Dylan has a music background, Tom has a music background. We're going to be dealing with a musical man that likes to have small amounts of weed and probably doesn't get it up.
All right. Travis, who are you doing tonight? Who is it?
All right, boys. Tonight we are doing a dive bomb into metal god Dimebag Darrell of the groove. Yeah, the groove metal band, according to Wikipedia, Pantera.
Also, Damage Plan, Rebel Meets Rebel, and fucking probably some other shit that wasn't that good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Pantera was the only one that really was any fucking good.
Yeah, Pantera is the one that stuck. Damage Plan may have taken off, but we will never know.
Never know. Big old question
another
mark.
dead musician, the singer of Drowning Pool, was supposed to be the singer of Damage Plan.
Oh.
He died, though, on a tour bus, as you do on Ozfest.
During Ozfest, of course.
Yes.
So we're gonna be taking a stroll down Dimebag and by proxy, his brother Vinnie Paul, also dead.
Dead.
Yeah, their career from a Texas cover band to arguably one of the most influential metal bands in history, dog.
Amen to that.
It's probably true. It's probably true because every fucking local band tries to sound like Pantera for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, growing up on Long Island, like people on Long Island also think they're from Texas. Like if you see the lifts on trucks and all that stuff that goes on.
Oh, really? You guys got that over there?
Oh yeah, yeah. Where we're at in Suffolk County, it's a very red place. Like they love that shit. We're just like overtaken by
neat.
Yeah, the old New York City and their population. But yeah, for Red Island, Long Island is just like all rednecks.
Red Island?
That's what I'm calling it from now on. Red Island.
Yeah, Red Island.
And I'm talking about that 70s show Red.
Yeah, Dylan, I know you have an affinity towards, cowboy hats. There's a lot of those going on Long Island, out east.
Yeah. It's just not a good look. Dude, that's a touchy subject. We can't, we can talk about dead people and how shitty they were, but let's leave cowboy hats alone, bud.
We don't get canceled here.
Yeah, we can't get into that one, that's for sure.
So I gotta be honest here. Questionable Confederate flag guitars aside, Dimebag sounded like a pretty premium boy. I mean, he was probably really awesome to throw down and party with. He probably was pretty cringy because he definitely was one of those metal guys,
overboard metal.
Yeah. But I did dig up some fun little things. About Dime, but I'm going to be honest here. The roast is mainly going to be about, as you mentioned, Pantera fans and also Pantera's singer, Phil Anselmo. He's not dead, but he's a real big asshole.
I think he's
He'll die eventually.
Yeah.
And then you can listen to this again.
Yeah.
Housecore Records! Metal!
I like some of what he does. Continue.
Dude, I'm a fan. See, once again, I'm a fan of the music and not really so much Phil. He kind of does dumb shit, but like their fan base just makes you want to fucking talk shit about him.
That's true. Very true.
You're begging for it.
Yeah, exactly. Now, one more thing before we jump into this whole life of Dime. I want to mention, I've read a lot of really shitty biographies for this show. But my main source, a book called Blacktooth Grin by Zach Cran, probably the worst. So I know he's not listening, but Zach, we don't care that you wrote for Spun Magazine. Your storytelling, metal god dick sucking, lack of chronology, and random fucking quotes from movies that you like.
Is it like a fan fiction?
Dude, it is so bad. So every single chapter starts with a quote, and I wrote some of the great ones down here.
Heritage, not hate, brother.
Yeah, no. This one. Once it hits your lips, it's so good. Frank the Tank from Old School. What? And where is the rebel where is the rebel base? Grand Moff Tarkin, Star Wars: A New Hope.
What the hell is going on?
I mean, shout out to Peter Cushing, but for fuck's sake, what are you doing?
Like, I don't care.
Well, I think Pantera documented so much of their doings. You could probably pick out some moments in just their home video type shit of like, man, you can't get away with that shit today, bud.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of weirdness back then. The '90s metal guys.
Also, remember in the '90s was pre-internet when people's sense of humor was based around what funny movies they had seen and then quoting them to each other. So that might have something to do with this guy's poor writing style.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, how many times in my life have I heard someone just quoting Spaceballs out of nowhere? We ain't found shit, like, for no reason. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, Dumb and Dumber all day long. I do it every day.
Yeah, I'm guilty, but it's a different world.
I'm not writing a book. I'm not going to write my favorite Star Wars quotes in a book about a musician. But anyway, without further ado, let's talk about the man of the hour, Darrell Lance Abbott. So he was born in Ennis, Texas, August 20th, 1966, to Carol and Jerry Abbott. Now, Darrell was number 2 of the Abbott brood. His older brother, Vincent Paul Abbott, was born 2 years before Darrell. It's a little combo, you know what I mean? It's combo boys.
Yeah. Vincent Paul. You don't really hear that much.
No.
It's always Vinnie Paul.
Yep, it's Vinnie Paul. Vincent.
It's nice, but it's different.
So sounds a little foreign for Texas, honestly.
Definitely.
Well, this guy, Jerry was a cultured man, a musician man. You know, he's very involved in music. So we've done a bunch of rock stars before on the show, and it's always nice to hear a story about, like, say, Jimi Hendrix, who like need to scrap together money just to afford a guitar. Or
that episode was great, by the way.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, it's always good to hear those guys that like really tried to like make it in the, they had a passion for music. Mm-hmm. Obviously, when you get talent like that, it just kind of comes naturally, but they really worked for it. Now, the Abbott boys, zero effort involved because Jerry owned a music studio in Arlington, Texas. So pretty much
bitches.
Yeah, pretty much their instruments were handed to them as soon as they could use their old little digits. And yeah, there you go.
I wonder if Pantera fans know that.
No, that would probably ruin some of the allure of how rough and tough they are.
Yeah, like he had to fucking earn that guitar. Like, no, they just handed him one.
Yeah,
it was always there for him.
Yeah.
They grew up in a music studio with all these, and Jerry was big into country music, so they grew up around all of these different country stars. And then, there's in this book, it's like Darrell watched the players like every day and studied their fingers.
Yeah, and just like a point on that, that's not a bad thing that people are surrounded by that and have opportunities to do that. But people like the mystique and like the illusion of the grind so much.
Right.
Really, I think that's fine, but I could definitely see someone being like, "No, man, they had to work extra hard." There's a story about his guitar. Well, you'll get into it.
Yeah. So Jerry had a goal. Their father, Jerry, had a goal to make their kids musicians. There's actually a story where Vinnie Paul wanted to play tuba in the school band, and Jerry was like, "No, dog, you're not gonna make money playing that fart machine," and then bought him a brand new drum kit. And that's what started him on the drumming.
Man. I had to beg and beg and beg for a drum set. It took so long. God damn it.
I had to beg for one too, and I didn't get it.
Dude, it's just a money pit. You didn't miss out on anything.
Fair enough.
I begged for McDonald's every day when I was a child, and I usually got it. And that's how I am the way I am.
Beautiful. Slightly round, but beautiful.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Body positive. So
Tantalizing, even.
So Darrell and Vinny were pretty much entitled kids. And as you mentioned, there was... hold on a sec. So, yeah, their dad owned a studio in Arlington, Texas. Their family moved to Arlington right after Darrell was born. And if you have no clue about Texas, Arlington is conveniently located between Dallas and Fort Worth. So on top of this, being exposed to the music studio, the Abbott Boys had plenty of exposure in the local scenes, which is something that Dylan on his show, NFHC, go into a lot. Local bands.
Yeah, local bands are everywhere.
Yeah.
Most of them suck.
Amen.
They're growing up with them local bands. They're hearing all them local bands. Now, Tom, you mentioned the shitty metal, like, there's always this lore around how someone becomes a guitar god.
Definitely in the shredder world, for sure.
Oh, yeah. So, the mythic way that Darrell acquired his shredding abilities, remember, Darrell's coming of age in the late 70s and 80s, and Darrell had two favorite bands that inspired him to shred. Number one, Van Halen. Can shred, absolutely. Number two, Garbage Monsters, Kiss.
It's good.
Fucking.
I don't know why people like Kiss.
I don't either. I don't get it.
I will say they're probably, if you're introduced to the aesthetic of Kiss first, it's a huge letdown. If you were to hear it on the radio and go, okay, all right. But I remember when I was younger seeing Kiss for years before I heard them. And then when I first heard Lick It Up, I was like, this not so tough.
Yeah, no, I think maybe you had to be there for it.
Sure.
Yeah.
When it was fresh and hot. But,
Guys with painted on their face like clowns, playing rock and roll at me and drinking at me.
Now you expect black metal when you see that. And you're like,
well, it's because
wait a
the
minute.
parents hated Kiss. So that's what made Kiss cool.
They were talking about licking vaginas and touching their pee-pees.
Yeah,
and
it's
doing
fucking-
drugs.
They're talking about partying every night and then rock and rolling every night. I forget the words. I'm really botching that one.
Partying sometimes in moderation and doing your schoolwork every morning before school.
I'm going to say that I'm going to throw this out there that they were ripping off
Catchy.
Slaughter's Up All Night, Sleep All Day. That was probably ripped off by Slim Gaillard's Up All Night, Sleep All Night, which I just made up the second one. But you get
why
my
not?
point.
You just started a metal legend. You started a rock legend. So the story goes that Darrell locked himself in his room for 13 days, listening just to Van Halen, Kiss, and Black Sabbath, and he emerged a rock and roll guitar god.
Reasonable.
This is what they believe, huh?
This is what they believe.
Okay.
When in reality, Father Jerry had to learn a bunch of shitty hair metal licks and taught Darrell how to play guitar. That's the reality of it.
That's fine, too.
Yeah, why not?
It's okay. It's okay to be bad.
Yeah.
Everyone's bad for a while. Most people just continue being bad.
I suck at guitar.
See, but I like this Pokemon cocooning, crystallizing into a little cocoon, and he emerges as Dimebag Darrell.
It's neat for a high school kid that's starting out to play guitar, and he picks up his first pointy guitar and is like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking go to my room for 13 days like Dimebag, and then he's gonna come out and still suck so bad.
Yeah. So
The
some
confidence.
of his friends, his early friends, say they remember Darrell's signature loogie wall, which was a wall in his bedroom where Darrell would hawk loogies while he practiced. Well, just imagine a shitty, moldy, sticky, crusty wall that Dime was practicing that.
Can't slow down. Can't slow down. Squirrel.
That's fucking gross.
Right? We had
Inside the house?
Yeah, right in his room.
Man.
Right in his room.
Well, I hope they used an eggshell finish, and it wasn't something matte that really soaked through.
I remember on the fencing team, we had a loogie locker where we all just like used to loogie into one locker, and it was like, you know, when you got those things, like the growing crystals that you put in, you know, like the water and they grow really long.
Yeah,
it's just like loogie stalactites and shit
That's
like that. So.
fucking disgusting.
Yeah,
yeah, I hated that kid too. I liked spitting in his locker.
So in 1981, older brother Vinny was looking to form a band. Vinny's a drummer. He's playing his drums. Now, with a few of his guys, lead singer Terry Glaze, best name, Tommy Bradford, and Donnie Hart. Vinny's like, let's all get together. I know how to play drums. My dad already has a studio, so no one can yell at us. Let's do it.
Oh, God. That's awesome.
Yeah. You know high school bands, right? Rock and roll.
Fuck yeah.
Now, Vinny, I guess he was joining this high school band, but he was like, look, I'm not going to be your drummer unless if my kid brother Darrell is able to fucking shred. And now remember, Darrell's like 16 and Vinny's like 18, so he's a younger kid. No one wants to play with a younger kid. These young men are drinking, 18, able to drink.
Yeah, and little Dimebag Darrell's out there playing Pokemon Go. Who wants to have that around?
He's looking for his buttered free.
Fucking Darrell's coming. God damn it, dude.
Yeah, well, that's what Bradford and Hart, they're like, fuck that. I'm not being in this band if Dimebag's in it. So good for them because they lost out on a lot of money.
Hey, do we get to find out how he got his name, Dimebag?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. I actually do not know that.
So I'm just calling him Dimebag right now. Right now he doesn't go as Dimebag. He's just Darrell Abbott. So the band, these two guys dropped out. The band found a good bass player, which, you know, I don't know, you put it out in the paper. Do you know a bass? And then somebody comes back. This guy, Rex Brown, who used to go as Rex Rocker, you know, real metal.
Well, that just ruined some illusion.
Yeah.
I like Rex Brown. Big fan.
Rex Brown is a good metal bass player name.
Yeah, right?
It's short and sweet, you know? It's got an X in it. It's fucking metal, dude.
But now he's Rex Rocker. Like he's rocking on some cocker.
Gosh.
And thus...
Well, it's the 80s, though, right? So, like, it's glammy.
Yeah.
It's a little glammy around that time.
Yeah, so with Rex Brown, Pantera was born. Mr. Glaze on vocals, Rex on bass, Vinny on drums, and Dimebag playing guitar.
Now, I'm going to ask it, because I know a lot of people at home are thinking this. What happened to this Terry Glaze? Because everyone likes a good glazing.
Oh, dude, he's going to be glazing with the band for almost a decade. So... The thing is, before we get into the early Pantera, I want to do a little Dora the Explorer moment. Does anyone know what Pantera means in Espanol?
Sure.
Panther! Yay!
Oh, I had a feeling.
Even though none of the members of the band are Spanish, they just thought Pantera sounded cool.
Well, I mean, they lived in Texas. It's pretty close.
Yeah, why not? Now
actually,
they
to get ready for the show, I ate a lot of Tex-Mex.
Yeah,
and I passed out for a few hours. Now I'm here, smelling like an onion.
You should have had a black tooth grin or something.
You know, we were chatting about that before you joined, Dylan, and I don't think I can look at those bottles sitting around for that long because I don't want to drink that garbage.
Yeah, no, it's ugh.
Yeah, I was like, I got shit to do. I'm not going to drink that shit.
No,
but they thought Pantera sounded cool. I mean, I feel like nowadays maybe they might be the build the wall type people, but
we have a strip club, or used to have a strip club here called Pantera's, I believe. So, you know,
ooh, the
it's
Panthers.
fitting.
I think it's a good name.
Yeah,
I believe it's a good name, and I won't take it back.
It's a good name. It's stuck around for a long, long time. So this version of Pantera, I'm going to call them like Beta Pantera. Beta. Because it was basically just an average hair metal Van Halen style band. Basically sounds nothing like Pantera, like the metalheads cream their jeans to.
Yeah.
Certain metalheads will cream to anything. is what I've learned.
It's true. It's true. That's very true.
It's very true. Getting juiced. So you won't actually find these early Pantera records because they don't list them on like Spotify or anything. You can find them on YouTube. I was going to play a little clip in a sec. But because half of the members of this early beta Pantera were the Abbott brothers, and their dad owned and operated a music studio called Pantego Sound, they were able to record an album in 1982 creatively named Metal Magic.
It's getting late, I'm getting high, please let me in. Love, give you all my love, just need someone to hold you, won't you let me in? Yeah.
Personally, I like Glaze's vocals more than Phil's. I like my hair metal.
Now I'm
you know?
turning it off. You say something like that, you're toast.
Yeah,
Yeah, play a little bit of that in post.
All right. Well, look, man, you have a bad opinion about Terry Glaze being better than Phil Anselmo.
that's fact.
If Phil Anselmo's name was Jizz Anselmo, do you think you'd like him more? I know you. I know what you look for.
I think I would.
Okay.
I think I would. He grunts a lot. He just has a good growl, but he doesn't have a good.
Oh, he has a great.
No.
He's got Cemetery Gates, brother. What are you talking about?
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, man.
You forgot about it. It's okay. I understand. You've been doing a lot of research.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of research, chugging a lot of these heavy metal Trulies. So as the 80s chugged on, Pantera basically just became a local band, a cover band in the Dallas-Fort Worth area because no one wanted to hear their fucking shitty album. They're like, play Van Halen, fuck yeah. All right.
Free bird.
So Darrell was not known as Dimebag just yet, but he went by Diamond Darrell Lance. Lance being his middle name.
I don't know about that one, man.
Yeah, that's rough. You know, Lance is one of those names that was meant to be like it got proper usage in sync. Like,
yeah,
Lance was born to be in a boy band.
For sure.
Right, and Bryce was born to be a camp counselor.
Bryce. Yeah, it's good. It's like rice.
So Diamond Darrell, as he would, he acquired the name Dimebag Darrell before it became kind of like well known. But up until the mid '90s, he was known as Diamond Darrell, or they kind of dropped the Lance after a while. He's like, I don't know about the Lance. Diamond Darrell was really the star of the show for Pantera. The kid could play. He worked at during this time. He worked at a shitty little photo lab, which is a non-existent job now. And the band scraped by enough where like he was able to drop the photo lab thing. And Darrell also supplemented his income by entering tons and tons of shredding competitions, to the point where he won all of these competitions to the point where he got banned from competing. They're like, you're too good. You can't play guitar in our little event.
Well.
That's actually pretty impressive. I didn't know that either.
Yeah. So Pantera played. So the early beta Pantera played hard into like the Van Halen rock star lifestyle. I mean, they weren't famous or anything. They had the spandex, they had the big hair. And as lead singer Terry Glaze, Mr. Jizz, said they look like a bunch of girls, and then he used a bunch of the homosexual language describing what they also look like. This was an interview from like the 90s. So
a bunch of RuPauls, they said.
yeah. This book had a lot of gamer words in it.
Oh, I could imagine that it was full of just. Did anyone proofread it? Was it like actually easy to read, or did you struggle a little bit?
Dude, it was so hard to read. It was really hard. It was all over the place. And there were some good parts of it, but mainly it was shit that I could have just read on Wikipedia. So, wasting my time. Those are the best bios. So now, when this beta Pantera went on regional tours, they pretended to be rock stars. So they would go into their hotel room and they would flip around all the light shades and tilt the pictures on the wall, but they never caused any damage because they didn't have the money to do that.
Yeah, who does?
Well, yeah, I know, but then they'd have they'd have the girls and the guys come back look how much of a rock star we are.
Right. It's all optics. It's you got to look a certain way. If you're gonna make it in the business, you gotta do what you can. Play the game.
Pre-internet, you could lie a lot too.
Oh yeah, dude. Mm-hmm. You could get so many jobs without having any credentials. That's so good.
I wish.
So besides the rocker look, like I said, they're pretty tame. They were big drinkers on their tour. They were described as a traveling kegger, but Vinny, Paul, and Darrell, to some extent, were very, very anti-drug, stating that there's a reason why it's illegal. Oh, that was their defense.
They would have voted for Trump for sure, right?
Oh yeah, brother.
Wow. Ted Cruz guys. Well, when I think rock and roll, I think Ted Cruz.
Oh, yeah.
Know what I'm saying?
So, fun fact, Matt from our podcast, NFHC podcast, has a metal band called Virulent, and there's a song about Ted Cruz, and it's pretty fucking metal. So, I can see Ted Cruz as metal. It's called Ted Cruz as a Zodiac Killer. It's pretty great.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I could see him. Yeah.
Some facts are metal.
Yeah,
totally
he does his
inspired by
Zodiac
Pantera.
killing. Yeah, he does his Zodiac killing down in Puerto Rico.
They're on his trail here.
Yeah. So you might be scratching your head. You're like, the dude's name is Dimebag Darrell. How can Darrell be anti-drug? So around this time, 83, 84, Dimebag, at least with his friends, or Darrell, at least from his friends, got the name Dimebag Darrell because he would only carry a dime bag's worth of weed on him because he was afraid that if he got caught, he'd get in trubs. So it's not like a cool thing, like he smokes a lot of weed or he's like a Snoop Dogg man. Obviously, when he became famous, everyone wanted to get high with him. But It just started with the fact that he's essentially a moocher. He only carries a dime bag, just little bats of weed,
He's tight as hell. That's why he got the nickname. He's not tight because he shreds. He's tight because he's cheap,
Fucking dime bagging it over here.
Yeah, well, that's fun to know.
Yeah, so everyone's like, here comes Dimebag Darrell. What, you pass the blunt? No, you can't even roll one.
Man, fucking put your weed away. Just don't tell him we have anything.
Yeah, right? You're better off empty-handed. He would be cool.
He's just going to fucking play guitar.
Yeah.
All he does is fucking play guitar and fucking smoke our weed.
Yeah. I would totally throw down on that blunt with you, but I only got this, bro.
Do you think he's Wonderwalling it? At every fucking little party, it's an acoustic guitar and he's just fucking that annoying guy.
Oh yeah,
shredding an acoustic in the corner.
I think it's worse because he's probably not doing songs. He's probably
he's
he's just this is some Yngwie Malmsteen shit I learned. And every girl's scratching their head what? What's what are you doing here?
Well, and also so I watched his last interview. Spoilers, 2004. And he enters the interview place and he immediately just picks up a guitar and just it was electric guitar and just starts making noise with it. He's like all spaz, just me. It's not even plugged in. It's just
dude, well, you gotta check the action.
It's just the sound of the strings on an electric guitar, not amplified. That's rough.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's so metal.
So Darrell he might not smoke too much, at least at this point, but he was a very big drinker, and he was always described as a lovable oaf of a drunk. Although sometimes he would take it a bit too far, like just pissing on his roadies. Free roadies, mind you. These are like friends that came along and, give him a little pee-pee, a little golden shower.
He's a rock star.
I mean, it's not
one of them. There was a conversation where, like, man, you just let him treat you like that? I'd take a bullet for Dimebag. You know what I mean? Like, that conversation happened way back when.
Oh, yeah.
Had to have. He can piss on me all he wants. He's going to be a star, brother.
Well, also, he peed on this person wearing spandex. Like, I've never actually worn spandex, but I imagine that's kind of weird to do. There's no fly. Like, your dick and balls are just hanging over the spandex.
You actually have to bring them down past your knees.
Yeah.
And then pee off of a bus. A public bus, not a tour bus. Rock and roll.
Rock and roll metal! So now that I've emptied my bladder after talking about the fact that Dimebag peed on people in spandex. All right, so Pantera was back then and was always very much a dude band. I mean, I feel like, Tom, most of the shows I've been with you that I go to, like these metal bands, is a very dude-oriented crowd. That's just the nature of the beast.
It's music by dudes for dudes.
For dudes.
My girlfriend just chimed in incels.
Yeah, definitely. I still have yet to get married again. It's only been once. I don't know how.
So there weren't that many girls at a lot of beta Pantera shows, but there was one girl that showed up to every show, and that was Rita Haney.
I thought you were going to say Mom.
Yeah, Mom showed up too. Carol Abbott, she was there.
That's
Cheering
my
on.
boys.
Yay!
Hello, Mrs.
That's my
Abbott.
boy.
Look at
That's
the boys.
my Dimebag.
Look at them in their spandex. Your spandex, Mom.
Yeah, these are from Sears.
Oh, that's your father's spandex.
He's a jazz man.
So Darrell had known Rita since the 3rd grade, and in 1984 they became boyfriend and girlfriend. And that's the way it stayed until Darrell's death in 2004.
Wow. Not one for committing, eh?
Nope. Now, this friendship or courtship would come in handy. Handy, professionally.
Mm-hmm.
We will talk about how handy it becomes.
Are you going to tell us now or later?
A little bit. Just keep that in mind.
Just think of the handy.
So, Beta Pantera comes out with 2 more albums using their dad's studio. Projects in the Jungle in 1984 and I Am the Night in 1985.
They both
I Am the Night is the one that people always are like, I can hear early, what they became coming out of it, Like they always try to talk it up like it's good.
I could hear it.
Yeah, I'm not privileged enough. I will say Projects in the Jungle and I Am the Night, they do sound a touch racist.
They do a little bit. They have tones, and the Confederate flags don't help.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it seems like they're almost growing out of their racism in a way. And then Great Southern Trendkill happens.
Yeah. I Am the Night, boys. The Great Southern.
Interesting.
So Jerry, Daddy Jerry at Pantego Sound produced both of these albums. He was also acting pretty much as the band's manager, which made it very awkward for Mr. Glaze and Rex Rocker because the band was like growing bigger and bigger, and there was like decisions being made, and it was basically just the 2 Abbotts and their dad. And people were primarily showing up for Dimebag Darrell because, like, he's a really good guitarist.
Who gives a shit about Terry Glaze?
Yeah. He's a gamer word.
Whenever we meet with our manager, a.k.a. the Abbott's father, we have to wear our cowboy hats. When we have our meetings. Those are our meeting hats. It's not good. That's why I quit the band.
Partners?
My name is Terry Glaze. Gosh.
So although Darrell's love for Van Halen and Kiss never went away, there was a new sound on the scene, and that would be Metallica.
Oh, shit, brother.
Brother! So, Metallica had actually already heard of Dimebag in the mid-'80s, thanks to his girlfriend, Rita. Remember, this is a handy relationship going on.
She gave Metallica handies.
So, during the Ride the Lightning tour, Rita was able to get her ass blasted, allegedly, backstage by Lars Ulrich and James Hetfield. And I'm assuming during the double penetration, she was like, "You ever heard of my boyfriend's band, Pantera?"
Wait, really?
Yeah, so this was coming from... Rita said they were both close... She said that she was close friends with Lars and James. Terry Glaze was like, no, she was backstage with them. And
there's no close friends here.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's also close friends with Dimebag for 30 years? How long was it? Fucking, they never got married. They were just buddies the whole time.
Like 40 years or something. Ugh.
So, yeah, she's like, you ever hear about Pantera? And they're like, actually, we have heard about this kid, Dimebag, Darrell. So they came down to Savvy's in Dallas, Texas, and checked out some Pantera shows. And also, while they were there, probably stretched out Rita's anus a little more.
Like, hey, Dimebag, what's my dick taste like?
Yeah.
How kind of you to sample my girlfriend. Now I will go up there on spandex.
That's cool, right, guys? Right, Metallica?
Were you guys watching? Yeah, we were watching. We saw it from the inside.
It's finger blasting Rita. Dime didn't really seem to mind the fact that his girlfriend was being railed by Metallica.
Who would, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he had found
greatest metal band of all time.
Yeah, he had found his new sound, and that was like, metal! Metal, yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
All right, well, that's extremely metal of you.
Yeah!
Yeah. Give me fuel, give me fuel.
Ooh, yeah!
Heavy music.
Metallica was the reason I started playing drums, too. Well, they were not the reason, but Ride the Lightning was the first album I learned how to play because it's so easy because Lars isn't a very good drummer. So, Metallica is great if you want to learn drums.
Start there.
Yeah.
Same beat, fucking over and over and over and over again. You'll get it.
You'll get there. So lead singer Terry Glaze, he's like, I've pretty much had enough of this band. Dime is like overpowering my sweet hair metal vocals with his power shredding. And with this new metal direction, he's like, no, I'm all about singing like a lady and walking around in my spandex. I don't want to do this. So he's like, I'm out. Now,
Glaze
Vinny and
is the
Dime,
kind of guy who has knowledge of what stays. What is staying?
Yeah. What's going to stay in a blouse?
He just fucking shot on out of there. Huh?
Yeah. So Vinny and Dime are now at a loss. Will Pantera continue? Of course, because it's Pantera.
Well,
so
Pantera is only Dimebag, right?
Yeah, it's Dime and Vinny. It's the brothers.
It's the Dimebag show. He's a fucking spectacle.
Yeah. So Vinny basically put out feelers in the scene in 1986, and they found their new singer, one that sounded almost identical to James Hetfield in his hairs and years, and that would be enter scumbag Phil Ansama.
He's a nice man. He's a nice man with bad jokes.
Bad.
He was
bad,
drinking
bad jokes.
white wine.
Yeah.
He was drinking white wine, and that, you know.
Honestly, I thought that was funnier than the other joke.
He didn't mean the white power thing. It was a joke. You know, we all fucking Heil Hitler and white power when we're joking.
Yeah, sometimes
in
your
front
hand
of a
just
large
slips.
crowd of people.
Yeah, your hand just slips into like an upright position.
Yeah. It's crazy. So
Phil was 18 from New Orleans at the time. He was in a band called White Razor. And well, White Razor.
You're making that up, right?
Nope. The White Razor, and he was way more edgy than the Abbott brothers. Way more edgy in like a white nationalist skinhead type of vibe. You know what I mean? Like that. Like American History X style.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's very accusational of what you're saying here, Travis. I don't know if I can condone all this.
Well, you know,
It's like he saw the movie and was like, I like that.
Man speaks
Everything
for
about
himself.
it until the end. I didn't really like the ending. I like the first half.
Yeah. He's got the look. So Vinny and Dime were like, yeah, this guy's metal. And like they went with Phil, and that's how, you know, the real version of Pantera, brother, that's how it launches, right? This
Good
is
fucking call, by the way. Good call.
This is the shit you're going to find on Spotify. And you're going to also hear it at any old school metal bar, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Now, we're going to kind of speed through the music stuff because this isn't really a music show. And basically just like, I'm going to go through it all and then we can go into the antics of the 80s and 90s. So they released their fourth album, which was Phil's first album, creatively named Power Metal in 1988. Which, you know, they had Magic Metal, got Phil, Power Metal.
Yes,
the magic's gone.
Magic's gone. It's all power now, brother.
What kind of power? You know what kind of power.
Phil power.
He's talking about white wine. Don't you understand? He was talking about white wine.
They had it backstage in the green room. It was a joke.
It was for all to see. They were having a joke before. And they told everyone to clap. You could see the applause now comes on. Continue now, Travis.
So white power metal.
White power metal. Shortly after the release of Power Metal, Dave Mustaine of Megadeth called up Dime, was like, yo, you want to play for Megadeth? Why not? Dime thought about it. He thought long and hard, and he's like, you know what? I'm not going to be able to join if Vinny can't be on drums.
Darrell, it's me, Dave from Megadeth. Me. Hello, Darrell.
It's pretty good. It's a pretty good one.
I've been doing that for years.
Hello, me. It's me again.
Gotta love that.
Sweating bullets.
So from there, they would go on to make Cowboys from Hell in 1990, which is credited as one of the most influential metal albums. It actually reached number 27 on the Billboard charts back when that meant something.
It reached number 1 in every fucking wannabe metal guitarist fucking CD player forever.
Oh, yeah. It was in that constant rotation and that disc thing that you'd have in your trunk.
It's got some bangers on it, though, for sure.
Yeah.
And most of the album is pretty solid. And that whole, like, I feel like Psycho Holiday is like the perfect montage music for the 90s, you know?
He hits all them real high notes in there. Fucking, it's got a little bit of the 80s left in it.
It's just enough of that 80s swing. It's like, oh yeah, it's grooving. We can almost do hip-hop to this.
I just want the stems, though, and I just want to mute Phil. I just don't like his voice at all.
Well, you're missing out.
I like Darrell's playing. I like the groove. I don't know.
Oh, that's your problem.
Vulgar Display of Power was released in 92.
What kind of power?
Of Phil power.
Why are they always talking about power?
Of white wine. They're drinking a lot of white wine.
Vulgar Display of white wine. Talk about out east Long Island.
Yeah. And then again, Far Beyond White Power in 1994.
That's a stretch.
Yeah. That actually had debuted number 1 on the album charts, and the single Walk was actually nominated for a Grammy.
The single most annoying guitar riff of all time.
People fight about that riff, too. Are you fretting each note, or are you bending the first fret?
Guitar nerds are fucking stupid. It's not a great riff. It's boring and it's annoying because you go to Guitar Center and you're gonna hear it somewhere in that place. Somebody's gonna be fucking trying to play "Walk" by Pantera. It gives me a headache.
It's a drum song, really.
Yeah. I get that. I don't know. It's like a tough guy anthem to me.
Oh, totally.
And I don't really get down like that.
Then 1996, The Great Southern Trendkill.
It's fun. It's fun.
We'll get more on that. More of their aesthetic in a bit. And then their
my favorite album of theirs, honestly, though.
Great aesthetic for that one, though.
Yeah.
And then their last album as Pantera, Reinventing Steel, came out in 2000. So that's the order.
That goddamn electric on that one, brother.
So that's the album release order. Now we're gonna kind of break our chronology and just kind of talk about Dime and the band and highlights, or downfalls.
The real, please.
Yes. So as I mentioned, Dime and the rest of the band, heavy drinkers. Dime's drink of choice was the Blacktooth Grin, named after some lyric in Megadeth's Sweating Bullets. Now a black. What's that?
Oh, I thought it was Dave Mustaine talking about a black. I didn't know it was named from that. So
apparently it came from the song. They say Blacktooth Grin somewhere. Hello, me.
Yeah, hello, me. It's me again. What a silly song.
So a Blacktooth Grin, which is also the name of the biography I read, that's how important it is a double of Seagrams, a double of Crown Royale, ice, and a splash of Coke just to turn that shit black. Sounds.
I don't like them. I've been forced to have those as well. When you hang out at metal shows, you get asked to go play Dimebag tribute shows a lot, and the Blacktooth Grins are always like the special. So just a bunch of fucking assholes. I got you a Blacktooth Grin, man, fucking for dime. For dime! And like, I gotta drink this terrible drink.
Or the plant does.
Oops. Yeah. Well, that was actually a tactic that Dime used to do. I mean, because everyone wanted to drink with Dime. And I mean, the man drank himself. Almost every night he would drink until he passed out.
Yeah, because he was awesome.
Yeah, he was a fucking awesome dude. But so many people were buying him shots that a lot of the times he'd do the over-the-shoulder trick shot. Because he's like, I know my limit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you're that seasoned of a drinker, you know your limits.
Yeah.
So someone be like, yeah, Dime, here's a shot of tequila. And he, whop, right over the shoulder into some broad's face behind him.
That's good. Mm-hmm. That's fine.
Now, as I mentioned, every night, Dime would get to the point of he's like a study in how to get drunk, right? He had he's always pretty jolly, right? But he'd have the, right when he started to drink, he's a little quiet. I feel like Dime was kind of reserved, actually, but he drank so much that he became such a party boy. He was pretty quiet in the beginning, and then he got really chatty. Then he got wild, and then he would pass out.
Little wife beaty, and then
yeah.
Hey, I tell you, it helps because I'm a great talker after several drinks.
Yeah,
really, I am.
So, the Abbott Boys love to hit up all the metal clubs or metal bars and strip clubs in the Dallas area. If there was a rock band coming through, Dime would be there with strippers and Blacktooth Grins. One night, before he was in the pass out mode, Dime got so drunk that he decided to pee in the ice machine at a strip club while the bartender wasn't looking. And for the rest of the night, people were chugging piss ice of Dimebag Darrell. These titty-hungry patrons.
Honestly, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
A little funny, yeah, for sure. And could you imagine? Just man, this drink, it's a little funny. I don't know. Something weird about it. I don't know.
I mean,
it's probably just me.
I mean, honestly, yes, it's funny, and I'm not going to take that back, but I am going to think about how many times I probably drank something piss-akin.
That had Dimebag Darrell's piss in it?
Well, maybe not Dimebag Darrell's, but maybe, I don't know, a woman's.
How else are you going to become a guitar god?
Yeah. You have to drink his piss. It's like vampirism. That's we have to like save Kerry King's piss in vials.
No one. Wait, hold on a second. No one has to save Kerry King's piss. No one needs to
No one
play
thinks
like
he's a guitar god.
no one needs to play like Kerry King.
The worst.
Okay.
You can make that argument for a few people, Travis, not him.
No, yeah, I agree 100%. That's
someone. Well,
So no.
I guess so. Guitarist is piss. So does that mean I need to save like Meatloaf's cum in order to sing like him?
Yeah.
You could try it.
Okay, cool.
Hey, for science and for content, film it.
Yeah, I can and replace the ketchup on my meatloaf with meatloaf sauce.
Meatloaf's come, and then you'll be able to sleep on things better.
Yeah. Okay, so with all the fame that Pantera got, Dime never left Arlington, Texas. Sure, the band was mainly touring most of the time, but Dime bought himself a fairly modest house with a studio built in back, which is pretty awesome. He actually had this like old Cadillac, and he would had like a cable that went out of the studio and like would plug in the Cadillac, so you listen to his licks in the car.
That's a little over
get that
the top.
Yeah.
You know, get the car experience of your track.
Now we
could
use
have just used
MP3s.
Dropbox. What the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, just saying. It's easy
Bluetooth
now.
it.
We take that for granted. It's just like I had a cable installed.
So if you don't know, if you're listening, you don't know what Dimebag looks like, and you haven't looked at the art for this. He had himself a big pink beard, like pink goatee thing going on that he dyed.
His
so
face-
Dime got.
He looks like you know that silent movie where they shoot the bullet into the moon's eye. His face looks like that, but with a beard that looks like it's half made of Twizzlers.
It's a great description. Dime got himself a pet goat that he kept at the house and painted the goat's beard pink as well. So it was a little Dime and Dimebag Jr. I don't know what its name was.
Watch out, PETA. We're going metal.
Metal!
Yeah. Ooh, so
Sometimes he didn't know if it was the goat or Rita.
got black out enough.
So the house was a fucking mess. There was a bunch of Kiss stuff everywhere, like pinball machine. Like it's like if a toddler owned a house, right? Like it's like lots and lots of stars and like a racist toddler. 'Cause
I
there's
can't
tons
imagine-
of stars and bars.
That they graduated high school.
I know Vinny did. I don't know if Dime
Because he
did.
was already shredding gnar at fucking, 15, 16? He was like, I don't need school. I'm just going to be a fucking lead guitar player for Pantera, brother. And
Could you imagine little baby Vinnie Paul with his like little facial
his little cum gutters?
Yeah, his little cum gutters he's got.
Cum gutters.
And he walks up to they call his name at his high school graduation. He goes up to grab his diploma, and he goes, "I'm not graduating unless my little brother Darrell can graduate too."
All right, Vinny. All right, Vincent Paul.
Sounds like a deal. It's Texas. We barely are doing anything anyway.
Yeah, sounds about right. And this is mainly just for us because and Tom, maybe Tom or Dylan, you can paint a picture, but I posted, we only have to watch a little bit of this, but there's a walkthrough. Dime's house is now like a museum. They just preserved it as is. So this is like some
Hold on a second. They preserved his house?
Yeah.
Like
they
from,
did.
how it was when he was off on tour?
Yep. Like it's like a 2004 Kiss Stan house.
It's a little tacky. It's a little tacky. There's Confederate flags. Framed Confederate flags.
This house is retarded. It's like a strip club made by Pee Wee Herman.
Everybody signed the name on the wall in the bathroom.
Like, what is it?
Yeah.
Like, got those gas station swords on his wall.
That's where it all happened.
Oh gosh.
That's that.
All right.
That's his studio.
I wish I had a studio in my house.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I mean, I do kind of, but I wish.
Yeah, what are you talking about? You already got one.
Yeah, that's like an actual, those are giant mixing boards. I don't
It's
know.
like a $25,000 mixing board.
Yeah, but that house, just so to paint the picture, it's horrible. It's trash. It looks like mental illness made a house.
Also, in the beginning, when the guy's walking up to the house, he has a bench out front, and it's a Stars and Bars bench, just right on the front lawn.
Look, I get the rock and roll atmosphere. I have a friend. I'm not going to call him out, but he's got a cool little pad, and it's he's got all the tour posters he's been on and stuff like that, like all this cool stuff. And it's like hung on the wall neatly, and it's nice. And he obviously parties, but then cleans between the parties and doesn't have like Christmas lights up.
No Christmas lights?
He has track lighting, like a normal person.
If you're gonna put Christmas lights up, at least don't use the blinking Christmas lights. You know what I mean? You gotta live in this space.
I had Christmas lights in the studio. Travis, you remember the studio we had?
Yeah.
It was in a basement
They weren't
below
blinking.
a deli. And of course they weren't blinking, but we smoked on them. And they could have been blinking.
Yeah, they turned brown. They're brown Christmas lights.
Merry Brown Christmas.
So, speaking about the good old brown Stars and Bars, which I always imagine as two shit stains with corns, like little pieces of corn on there, the Confederate flag, one of Dime's most iconic guitars, came out that he used after the Great Southern Trend Kill in '96, has a big old Confederate flag on it. Now, when questioned about the use of the flag, bassist Rex Brown, said that it was probably one of the biggest regrets he had of Pantera, and that they weren't using it as a sign of hate. It was just as rebellion.
Yeah, but they were kind of rebellion for a little bit of hate.
Yeah.
It's not a good look, man. It's not a good look.
No. Now, Phil Anselmo might have other views. As we've alluded to during the show, he was in the news for doing a Nazi salute and screaming white power at an annual Dimebag tribute in 2016.
Right, but we have to make an addendum to that. It's white power as a joke.
Yeah.
It was a joke about white wine. I don't know if we talked about it so far on the show, but white wine was the joke. Very funny.
I mean, I think what makes it extra funny is that it's coming from a man that has no hair on, has bicked his head.
Yeah. And wears like Doc Marten style boots and
yeah.
It's about efficiency.
He does have the whole look.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Patton Oswalt could pull that white wine joke off, because I feel like he's got equal amount of hate in his body, just in different areas.
Yeah, Patton Oswalt could use a writer.
Yeah,
maybe Phil Anselmo could work for Patton Oswalt, and he could just reverse the jokes.
Yeah, he could write for him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just Ratatouille 2 with Phil Anselmo as the rat, the French rat.
Well, he is from New Orleans, so
he
probably understands some Cajun.
Now, I'm not sure that Dime would have been. Again, I mentioned this whole joke about white power was done at a annual Dimebag tribute. I'm not sure Dime would have been too happy that Phil was doing that shit. Also, that he was even doing a tribute to Dime, because towards the end, they hated each other, which we're going to get into.
They were not buddies, that's for sure.
Not friends. So after the success of the Great Southern Trend Kill, Vinnie, Paul, and Dime were like, we love drinking. We love strip clubs. We also love golf. You wouldn't imagine these men as golfers, but they're big golfers.
Did not know that.
So they're like, let's open up a golf course in Arlington, Texas. But wait, on the 19th hole, it's going to be a strip club, brother.
Wow.
Huh.
Really?
So, well, yeah. So Vinny was always like the numbers man. He was kind of like the, he didn't seem like a very fun guy. Dime was the fun guy. So Vinny crunched some numbers. He's like, fuck, Dime, we can't afford the whole golf course shit. We got it's crimping our dreams. So they decided to open up a golf/rock and roll strip club named the Clubhouse in Arlington, Texas.
That has got to still be standing.
I didn't look that up. But interestingly enough, Texas has one of those weird laws where if you have an all-nude strip joint, you can't serve alcohol.
Same here.
But that never stopped the boys and the VIPs from having a few of them black tooth mins.
All right.
But also, I don't know, golf strip club, kind of weird.
Nah, it's fine.
You want to whack my balls or something?
Yeah.
I don't know how do they talk sexy to the strippers?
You get a hole in one.
Birdie! I think the real difference, like if golf was a nighttime sport, then we would see a heavy overlap.
I just think of shitty businessmen.
Yeah. Who also like to go to strip clubs.
Yeah, that's true, but they don't scream rock star.
No.
They scream Nickelback because they have taste and success.
Yeah,
Nickelback
exactly.
will be featured in our script later. Stop spoiling it.
Sorry. I know too much.
So the strip club and Dimebag attracted all sorts of celebrities and musicians, including one of Dime's all-time heroes, Gene Simmons of Kiss. What a gross man.
Yeah.
He's just like the worst.
What do you think the first interaction was like? He was like, I'm coming in when Dime's there. Make sure he's there. I'm Gene Simmons. Hello, I'm here now. It's me, Gene Simmons. You must be Mr. Darrell. Show me what you do. Give me a lap dance.
I am the Kiss Man. See my long tongue.
Something like that.
So Dime actually had Gene autograph his chest and then tattooed Gene's signature onto his chest. Great.
It's awesome.
That's how much of a fanboy he is. There's actually also a story that Gene likes to bring up whenever talking about Dimebag, where they're in this clubhouse and he was just having a conversation with Dimebag and Rita, and, you know, they're just talking, and Gene decides, I'm going to get my dick sucked right in the middle of the club. So he just, like, pulls his pants down, gets a blowjob, and continues his conversation. Because he's Kissman.
Kissman.
If you can.
Lick it up.
There's no way his hair is real. Have you guys seen his hair?
No, it's fake.
I don't know if anything about that guy is real. Is his tongue real?
I know his name's not. He's from Israel.
Yeah. He's actually very, what do they call it when you're like a Jewish supremacist? So they exist.
I don't know, a progressive?
No, he's very much like if you're not Jewish, you're like an inferior race.
That makes sense. I've been saying that
Oh, is
for
he really?
years.
Yeah. So the strip club also attracted Dallas NHL team Dallas Stars. The boys used to hang out and party with the boys of the Stars used to hang out and party with Dime and Vinny, even at Dime's house.
The Stars hung out at bars?
Stars at bars. Stars and bars.
The Dallas Stars and bars.
Yeah. So during one night of Blacktooth Grins, defenseman Craig Ludwig was like, yo, wouldn't it be great if like you wrote the theme song to the Dallas Stars? And then Dime and Vinny were like, wait. And they ran off and they went and recorded Puck Off, which is still played whenever the Stars score a goal.
I've never heard that.
Here's Puck Off. It was pretty lazy writing. Yeah, especially when we get closer towards the end of the song.
This is so sick.
I know, it's awesome.
It sounds like the menu music for a racing game. Like you're on like a PS2 menu.
Wait for the little lazy part at the end.
Oh, the vibra slap.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, yeah, they're just playing Cowboys from Hell.
Yeah, sure, brother. We're gonna write your theme song like Cowboys from Hell and scream Dallas Stars. Oh, there he is back at the house. Yeah,
all right,
so
well, that's good. That's a good way to make a buck.
Yeah, not bad. So if you go to a Dallas Stars
Rehash
game,
a riff that made you $1 million.
Let's make another $1 million.
Well, in 1999, the Stars won the Stanley Cup, and the after party was held at Dimebag's house. So apparently, the Stanley Cup was thrown off the roof into Dime's pool and got a big old dent in it. So if you know anything about the Stanley Cup, there's a guy called the Keeper of the Cup. This is always watching the cup. Mm-hmm. So apparently, the coaches paid him off to kind of like say it was dropped going into the plane because they didn't want the optics of, the cup was thrown off of Dimebag Darrell's roof into a pool and dented.
Well, that's fucking crazy because I'm sure, I'm not a hockey, but I'm sure they take that cup very seriously, and it's like a huge deal. Man, that's rough. They're just throwing it.
Yeah. You get enough drinks in me, it doesn't matter how serious I take something. I'm going to throw it off of a roof.
I mean, if the roof is there and the pool's there and the cup's there.
It's going.
You knew what you were getting into, cup holder.
So you walk into this house, it's got these Christmas lights up blinking. You're like, this is going to be fun.
Yeah,
the many Confederate flags.
Keeper of the Cup starts sweating. Like, I don't know if it's proper for the Stanley Cup to be in this abode.
It's the one
he's probably
English
Canadian.
Guy. It's the one English guy in the NHL who's just like, this is not going to go well. Oh my goodness!
It's Vinnie Jones.
Yeah.
So Dime was also a big fan of David Allan Coe. Surprisingly,
known racist.
Yes. David, who was much older than Dime, actually had worked with Dime's dad, Jerry, back in the day at his studio. Dime once waited online full of regular fans. Keep in mind, he's already Grammy nominated, just to get David Allan Coe's autograph. And David Allan Coe, who had no clue who he was. He was like, "What is a Pantera? When's Banderas?" Anyway, they got drunk together and did some collaborations later on in the career.
That album's fucking awful, man. Rebel meets Rebel. It's all of Pantera without Phil, and then they just got David Allan Coe, and it's like this country metal fucking Confederate flag covered. I don't know. It's
basically January 6th material.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's right-wing Lulu, the Lou Reed Metallica album.
Yeah, it's the other side's version.
Yeah. We all need an anthem. We see how they both play out. It's not good. It's not good to be on either side right now.
Hold on. While you're talking, I'm gonna look up some of these song names of that album because I remember them being pretty rough. Cowboys Do More Dope. That's a good one.
That's cool.
Cherokee Cry. I'm not sure why they went that route.
Scalping.
Yeah, scalped.
No Compromise. I'm sure that has a lot to do with the whole album cover is eagles and flames and Confederate flags.
Ooh! Oh boy!
It's just you know what you're getting into.
Oh yeah.
Boys and girls at home, it's called taste.
I feel like somebody needs to send that anytime someone complains that something is untasteful and racist, you just send that over. Just remember where we come from.
Well, you gotta remember, you have this album that he did with David Allan Coe, but no one ever talks about the album he did with David Allen Greer. Okay, it's way different. It's not a good joke.
I don't know who David Allen Greer is.
He's a black comedian.
Oh, okay. All right, so those were the good times, and now for the bad. And when I say bad, I mainly mean the Phil Anselmo times. So Phil is just kind of a complete piece of shit. I know he's alive, but whatever. Phil thought Pantera owed him something, kind of because he was so metal and so hardcore, and it was obvious that everyone was there to see Phil and his singing. Even though they literally just picked him up out of a phone book, I
know you're not a fan, but he sounds sick.
But it's the Dime show.
No, I mean Phil he actually was a big part of it.
Yeah.
Like he brought that more hardcore element and like got people going.
All right.
If fucking Terry Jizz would have stayed in the band, there's no way they would have ever went as far as they did.
Yeah, I'm a Terry Jizz fan. I don't know about you. I'm a big Terry Jizz fan.
You live in Portland. You're hip.
Terry Jizz probably lives in Portland too.
He is Portland. Watch the Pantera live in Russia domination. I think it's like 1994, and it's like the spectacle that is the band. Like everyone's important there except for Rex Brown, but everyone's important, and the crowd is just going insane. And like Phil has them going. It's wild,
right? I think it's interesting because they also did that show. I think Metallica was there too, like before the fall of the Soviet Union, where it was like some weird metal show that they allowed in Russia.
I think that's
like
it.
right. Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Watch, them playing Domination in Russia is like, it's nuts.
Well, there's a lot of people that share Phil's views in Russia. They don't like a lot of people.
Fair enough.
He's like, I fit in over here.
Yeah.
These are my
You look like white power rants.
Yeah.
They get my comedy. They get my comedy about white wine. They also like heroin. Oh, this
White wine, white horses, white power, brother.
It's about the message, comedy.
Yeah. Yeah, even though he was in this band, he didn't live in Texas. He remained living in New Orleans, Phil. And while the band wasn't touring, he was up to all sorts of sneaky shit. And by sneaky shit, I mean heroin.
Lots of it.
Lots of heroin.
It's awesome.
And great music came from it. Such good music came from him doing heroin. God damn it.
Yep.
So it's not like the band didn't know. Phil had transitioned. He was a very powerful man, very brave of him. He transitioned from muscle relaxants for his back injuries to the far more reputable heroin. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's great for back injuries.
He was doing heroin before it was cool, really.
Yeah. And
now everyone's doing it. It's fucking,
And that's why Kurt Cobain shot himself, because he sees this guy doing heroin and being awesome, and he's just like, I can't keep up with that guy. Better shoot myself.
I have way too much hair to keep up with that man. He's so slick, he can beat me in a pool race any day. So in 1996, after a show in Dallas, Saled, Phil OD'd. Whoopsies! But he lived, but that was kind of the beginning of the downward spiral that would break up Pantera. Phil had a taste of, and this came mainly from his own.
One little overdose, guys. You're gonna kick me out for one little overdose? Come on.
Well, in so many words, I'm kind of like taking a whole bunch of interviews that I watched of Phil. He had tasted death, and his ambitions were far more dark artistically than party metal Pantera. He just like knew what death was about and had to get more real, more serious.
Awesome.
And
he heard Crowbar, which really changed
and he's
Phil
like,
a lot.
I'm tired of all this Texas bullshit. Let's talk about New Orleans now.
Yeah. So Phil, the previous year, had also assaulted a security guard with his microphone, which landed him in jail and 100 hours community service.
That guy probably deserved it, though.
Well, yeah. Rex Brown said that Phil did the right thing as the guard was roughing up a fan, and defended that Phil was defending him, and he compared that Phil was innocent, just like Randy Blythe of Lamb of God, who accidentally killed the fan in Hungary somewhere.
That was in the Czech Republic, and like as goofy as Randy Blythe is, he didn't kill that guy. You could see it; it's on camera.
Yeah,
guy staged up. He didn't even fucking touch the guy. And Crowbar rules, by the way. Just want to be upfront about that.
So, speaking about our bassist friend Rex, Phil started to pull Rex away from the Abbott brothers, sowing seeds of, that they're going against their best interests,
And he's like, I got heroin, buddy.
Yeah. He was filling his head with bullshit. See what I did there?
Mm-hmm. He filled him up.
Yeah, filled him on up.
The old
Glazed
influential bass player syndrome. You can always whisper something in their ear.
So Phil was getting harder and harder to get in touch with after the Great Southern Treadkill. And he had actually formed another band, Down, at the time. And then,
sick.
bam, boom, 9/11 happens. This is the big turning point for Pantera.
Phil's big break. America gets racist again.
Here we go, boys.
It's just what we needed to open our eyes and talk about comedy for what it is.
So Pantera was actually flying that day. They had flown out to Dublin on a European tour with Morbid Angel, Slayer, and Static X.
Very sick. I would see that.
And when they landed in Dublin, the big old 9/11 towers had fallen, and everyone was sad.
Yeah.
So the tour...
Probably not people in Dublin. Probably just Pantera.
They were asleep when it happened.
Yeah, Dublin's like, who fucking cares? It's one building. 2 buildings? Oh, fucking whatever.
Also, I didn't really mention it before, but it took a while for Dime to actually like Europe. He was very much like a Texan. Like, I don't like what they're doing here.
Oh, I can see that.
Why are they
for sure
giving me leaders of things? But then he warmed up because English people love Pantera.
I am sure that on that tour they made fun of Wayne Static's hair more than anything.
Yeah,
which
definitely.
I poo-poo them for that because he had great hair. I love his.
Yeah, how are you gonna be called Wayne Static and not have your hair look like you fucking stuck it in a socket?
He nails it. He really does.
He does.
He paints a picture by looking like a paintbrush.
So the band canceled their tour, returned home, and went on break because 9/11 is scary and we don't want to do anything. When the time came to start touring again, Dime reached out to Phil and was like, all right, we got to start touring. And Phil was like, oh, I can't because I just formed a new band called Super Joint Ritual.
Hell yeah.
Maybe my favorite project of his.
Which has a black member in it, by the way. I'm not sure if it's a beard or just, I don't know if he's really into comedy, as we've been mentioning, or something. I don't know.
So this really pissed off the Abbotts, and there were some hillbilly words thrown around, and basically Pantera was over.
How do you think that conversation went?
Fucking gamer word with your fucking metal, we're trying to change the world, brother.
Travis, did you listen to Superjoint by any chance?
No.
They had this one album where they just recorded it all live, and
it's so angry.
It is so angry, and Phil counts off every song. So every song starts with 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
It's great.
And then it's like weird punk beats and him playing guitar poorly and fucking heroin mumbling some shit about society. It's actually fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's good. It's it's crust punk. It's like it's kind of like Discharge Worship.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, here's the thing. So, Dime's not about to stop playing here. The problem is Pantera was not just like the Terry Glaze Pantera Beta as before, where they just find a new member. Right. It's a brand now, so they couldn't just find a new singer. So, I mean, you mentioned Superjoint is kind of cool. In 2002, Dime and Vinny start Damage Plan, which is really not very good.
Not cool at all.
No, not good.
Yeah. I think it says a lot, the fact that, we're talking about how we like Dimebag Darrell, how we like Vinnie Paul, and they're these great 2 musicians, but they needed Phil Anselmo, a guy who we're talking so much shit about, but every project he does is pretty sick. I guess it just takes a little bit of
Down
time.
is actually fucking that the first couple down. Actually, all the Down albums are really fucking good, mostly all the way through. And he's like, I don't need these fucking asshole brothers.
I saw
totally
Down
needed him.
open for System of a Down.
That's confusing.
It's very confusing. I didn't know who they were. I was like, it was when Toxicity came out, so I had to have been maybe 13. Tops.
2001.
2001. So I'm 13-ish. I don't know who they are. I don't know who Phil Anselmo is at that point. I hadn't listened to Pantera when I was 13. I see this guy come out. They do a song. I'm like, this is pretty heavy. That's my thought process. They take a break. They finish the first song. He goes, this is Jones Beach. Huge arena. I mean, how many people do you think fit in there?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty much like a stadium just on the water.
Yeah, it's like an amphitheater stadium.
Yeah.
So Phil Anselmo, my first impression of this man ever in my life is that he goes up to some kid in the front row who has spiky hair, which is very popular at the time. And he goes, how long did that take you to do? And the kid's like, 5 minutes. And he says, 5 minutes? And he turns away, he's just like, fucking
Holy shit.
I'm not making that up. That's my first impression of Phil Anselmo. I was like, damn, that guy's a dick.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds about right, though. Shit.
All right. So the Abbott brothers, they form the new band Damage Plan. No space in between that, by the way. Just Damage Plan. Damage Plan. Damage Plan. And the album they recorded is Newfound Power. Keep in mind that Newfound Glory was top of the charts at the time. Very creative.
Oh, boy.
It's just not the same without Phil. The power is not as funny.
It's like a newfound off-white power.
Somewhat more inclusive.
Yeah. So they also got the singer Bob Zilla, who was basically some guy they knew through tattooing. Like their tattoo artist was like, check this guy out.
Awesome. He's got a cool name, dude. He's in.
Yeah. So the album was not very well received. The brothers were both in their 40s. It's pretty cringy shit, to be honest.
Yeah.
They had like one track that I can listen to, and I'm like, it's not bad. I hear they nailed this one, and then the rest of it's just kind of like, this would sound really good if Phil was singing.
I think like a big problem is with those bands like that who like are restarting their career so late and they already have a name for themselves, is that they're never going to develop. Yeah. So there's no like real going up from there. They might put out another album that might be a little better than the last, but these guys are set in their ways.
Well, right. So they go on tour in 2004, and they're like starting from scratch again. So
they use small clubs.
Yeah,
they
used to play like arenas and stadiums, like with Pantera. Like they went to Russia, like as ambassadors of metal music. Now they're playing up close and personal, like small venues, like local band shit.
Yeah, 100, 200 people max, fucking tiny shithole places.
I'm sure they're selling them out.
Yeah,
because just because of Vinnie Paul and Dime, but I think it makes sense. There's guys who I've talked to who have played larger venues and they like playing some smaller venues. If they can get a good deal, if they can get a guarantee that's like $5,000 out of it, and make a few small, it makes sense.
Right. Fans like that shit.
Yeah,
because you're like fucking right there, You can like, I got Dimebag spit in my mouth.
Right. So one of my neighbors was talking about how he went to a smaller Limp Bizkit show, and
that would be fantastic.
He touched Fred's balls, and Fred didn't even notice
because they're huge.
Yeah.
Anybody that's willing to just fucking go for it like that has to have huge balls.
Oh yeah.
I'm a massive Limp Bizkit fan. I don't even give a shit.
I know, man. I think their new album's amazing.
It's great.
I haven't heard it yet,
job.
but I'm excited to try it out. I mean,
there's a couple tracks just riff-wise because, Wes Borland's the shit.
Skip the acoustic ones.
Yeah, you could probably skip those, but the heavy songs are good.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, I liked Wes Borland's Big Dumb Face project.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was tight.
So I know he mentioned 9/11 already, But in the words of the great David Drainman of Disturbed, the day Dimebag died was the 9/11 of rock. A little of all of us died that day, too.
He did not say that. Really?
Quote.
Man.
Damn.
So my first concert was Disturbed in Korn in 2002. So it was
Sick.
the Believe tour, and he was doing like all of the "we gotta use our music as a weapon" fucking nonsense. So yeah, I can imagine he did some dumb speech talking about dying. Oh, fucking terrible.
The 9/11 of rock.
With his face spike piercings.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That's
I was gonna say, surprisingly, I do remember, like, not really the day, but like I remember when Dimebag died, just because it was in the news and shit, and they had all that footage.
well.
I was in
Tell
high
us the
school, I
story,
cried.
and then we can reminisce.
Yeah, I was in high school.
Tell the
Yeah,
people
well,
who are
right.
listening to the show who don't know.
Yeah.
And then we can talk about how we remember it. And
Yeah, how
our
we-
personal 9/11 too.
We'll never forget. Never forget. We'll never forget December 8th, 2004, the 24th anniversary of John Lennon being gunned down in New York City. Same day.
Fucking Lennon Day. And Pearl Harbor was the day before that. You
Ooh,
might
little-
say that Dimebag, or you might say John Lennon was rock and roll's Pearl Harbor.
Oh, jeez.
It's all coming together thanks to David Draymond of Disturbed.
Yeah. So Damage Plan had just finished up a tour on the East Coast and were heading back to Arlington to record their second Damage Plan album, which I'm sure was going to be way better than Newfound Power.
Like, let's use the old found power. Get Phil back.
Good old Power.
Let's get him drunk and then have him just yell at us over the phone. Use it as the vocals.
So the guys drank a lot. This was like a smaller tour. I'm sure they were getting paid pretty like a lot. But as I mentioned, they're doing small venues. So they're like, let's just hit up one show on the way back to Texas. The venue was the Alrosa Villa in Columbus, Ohio.
From what I've heard, shithole.
Oh yeah, I've seen pictures of it. It looks like a bodega that has been abandoned for centuries.
Yeah, it's not a nice place to die.
Yeah, no. Damage Plan was getting their first song, Damage Plan was getting into their first song when Nathan Gale, an ex-military that had been discharged for schizophrenia, jumped up on stage and pulled out a 9mm Beretta and shot Dimebag Darrell. Nathan continued to fire. Dimebag was shot through the right cheek, left ear, back of the head, and right hand. He was probably dead before he hit the floor.
God damn, he fucking going for it.
Yeah.
Got it, man.
So Gale continued to unload his 9mm, killing fan Nathan Bray, 23, who ran up on stage to help Dimebag, not knowing he was just dead. Club employee Aaron Hawk, who was 29, and Pantera official security guard Jeff Mayhem Thompson,
He
who
gave himself that nickname.
Yeah, totally.
He had been chasing Gale through the crowd after he saw him jump the fence to get into the venue. Now, Gale had taken another person hostage after shooting these people when police officer, and this is his actual name, you can look it up, it's a terrible, terrible, terrible name, James Niggemeyer, shot Gale in the back with his Remington 870 Express.
That's when Phil stopped being racist. That's when he
When the
heard
cops
that and he
took
said,
over?
This is not funny.
It's not funny.
Funny. Okay, so now, was Nathan Gale crazy? Yes. Had he also jumped up on a Damage during the tour? Had he also jumped up on the stage when Damage Plan was playing and made threats saying you broke up Pantera? Yes, but Nathan Gale had been listening to a bitter Phil Anselmo and who was like going to town to the press about how Dimebag had broken up Pantera and quote saying Dimebag deserves to be beaten severely. So, you know, you get these like deranged metal, you know, they're listening to demon music. They're listening to terrible demon music.
Military man.
I mean, Pantera is recruitment music.
Dimebag's gonna walk on home, boy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely something that goes well with camo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking Pantera and camo go together like fucking white power and white wine.
It's a funny fit.
So I do have a little bit of postmortem, but as I mentioned, like I remember Dimebag being shot, and I think my dad was like, when you go to those ska shows, you got to watch out for active shooters.
Yeah, like, real big fish is gonna fucking
catch 22. You better watch out.
Yeah, dude, I hate trumpets, and they just fucking blah 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 blah.
They have like the Tommy gun in the trumpet case, you know?
Yeah. Oh, it's just a ska player. Nope.
Nope.
Yeah, I heard from Justin, who has been on the show a couple times, and of Heavy Hole fame. I guess what? We were 2004, so we were 15-ish?
Yeah, we were in high school. I remember we were in the video room.
He left a voice. I wasn't in the video room. You guys were there, and he left a voicemail. He was skateboarding. He was just like, "Holy shit, man! Damn, got it!" And I was like, "What? What did you say?" Like, I called him back to go, "What are you talking about?" And then he told me, and I was very upset.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
I heard on the radio.
It was like my 9/11.
Yeah, you know, I never forgot.
Never forgot.
Because fucking Pantera fans won't shut the fuck up about it. Every goddamn year I gotta do a Dimebag tribute. Fuck, everybody's got their Dimebag tribute shows going on.
Remember Dime, bro? So the original Dimebag tribute show was actually his memorial, which was televised. And everyone in the rock and roll metal scene was there. Kerry King, James Boy from Metallica, Robert Zombie, Marilyn Manson's, Zachary Wilde. They're all there. And who can forget one of Dimebag's closest friends, Nickelback lead singer Chad Kroeger. Yeah, so the two of them worked together with Kid Rock on a cover of an Elton John song, Saturday Night All Right for Fighting, for the 2003 Charlie's Angels Full Throttle soundtrack.
Way to ruin Elton John. Fuck.
And this is for a Dime tribute? Do they know who Dime was? I'm assuming they did, or maybe they just didn't they crossed the memo. I don't know.
No, Chad was just like, oh, yeah, I remember playing that song for that movie that one time with Dime. We loved it.
I think they toured or something together, and they actually were buds, like drinking buddies and buds. Shit.
They're probably really nice guys. They just write music that's too easy to make fun of.
The end of almost every Nickelback song has one riff for 3 seconds that you're like, why the fuck didn't you just do that the whole time? It's like, it gets real heavy and then it ends. But they did write that song for Dimebag. It's like Side of a Bullet or something I think the story goes, as soon as I heard Dimebag died, I wrote a song about how I want to kill the man who fucking did it, not knowing that he was already dead.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Huh. Oh yeah. If you're at home listening to this, and you want to laugh at something memorial wise, Zach Wilde's in this river. We were talking about it before we were rolling, but check out that music video.
Zach Wilde, Southern biker from New Jersey.
Yeah. Oh God, he's like a teetotaler now, isn't he?
He looks like if you. I met him in an airport actually. Funny story. I was randomly fucking waiting to pick somebody up, and Zach Wilde fucking walks by, and I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man?"
Hey,
and he
buddy.
came and gave me one of those fucking "What's up, brother?" side hug things. That dude smells so fucking bad. Like he's just a smelly fucking drunk in this river singing dude.
God.
That video does suck really bad. He's playing the piano and the fucking
there's like
in the river.
It's like a comedy bit. Like the whole thing is awful. It's so bad. Like the singing, the wailing guitar solo over somber piano, not good. Not a good.
You're not Guns N' Roses. Get out of here.
Oh God!
So you know who wasn't invited to this memorial? Little Phil boy. He showed up in Dallas thinking that he would be invited, but Vinny and Rita were like, don't let that fucker near this event. So Phil watched the event from his nearby hotel room, probably doing heroin.
All right.
How was he still on the heroin then? He got
I don't
clean.
know.
He got clean somewhere in there.
I've heard that I think he said he relapsed like 2 or 3 times. I don't know. Maybe he was clean. Who knows? So Dime was buried in, I think, one of the most gaudy gravestones ever in Arlington, and it has become a mecca for anyone into metal. And
yeah.
I just wanted to post this one picture for you guys. I'm just going to put it in the chat. This is just kind of, I think, sums up. You can kind of see what the tombstone looks like.
He's also buried in a Kiss coffin.
Yes, he is buried in a Kiss coffin. And I think he has a guitar signed by Van Halen. He eventually did meet Van Halen.
He put it in the casket
Yeah.
at the fucking thing or whatever.
I'll be completely honest. If I'm ever in the area, I'm stopping there, and I'm gonna throw some horns up and drink, not a Black Tooth Grin, but something in that spirit.
A Gatorade.
Yeah. I had a giant Pantera vinyl
Pedialyte.
sticker on my first guitar. Okay, guys? Can't front.
I had many a Pantera shirts.
Hell yeah.
You know who else stopped at the grave to not pay their respect? In 2015, a band named Nuclear Hellfrost made
I
papers
remember this.
when they defaced Dime's grave. It wasn't really defacing it. They just made an Instagram post where they made a cutout of a razor blade, like a safety razor, which is what Dime used to wear around his neck, with the 3-letter gamer word written on it. And in the post, it says, "I hate Pantera with a passion, period. And so does the rest of my band, period. So on tour, going through Texas, we paid douchebag Darrell a visit. We spat on his grave, stole a pair of cowboy boots that I'm assuming some putty just left there. And I wrote gamer word on his grave." They didn't really write it. They just put it on a piece of paper.
Yeah, well...
And then it says, ... in not a homophobic, but I hope the Pantera fans see this and shit themselves with anger. Fuck Dimebag, bunch of racist hillbillies.
Well, he's not wrong about that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also not defacing either. It's more like littering.
Yeah.
And who would notice? Because there's probably a lot of other gamer words going on around that gravesite.
Yeah. So Vinny was all pissed off and made the news and everything like that. And just to sum it up, Vinny never forgave Phil, although it wouldn't stop Phil from attending all of these shitty Dimebag tributes every year to honor Dimebag, even though they didn't end on the best terms. Vinnie Paul continued to play music, forming his own record label and the band Hell Yeah in 2006.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
But on June 22nd, 2018, Vinny died in his home in Las Vegas at the age of 54. Vinny was always a big old boy with those little cum gutters that you mentioned on his face and the cowboy hat. And he died from a dilated cardiomyopathy and artery disease. Something to do with the heart because he's a big boy, chunky.
He sure was.
I would be willing to wager cocaine maybe wasn't involved on the day, but those guys did a lot of blow. Like if you look at Dime through the years, he is like ballooning and losing a lot of weight, like all the signs of like prolonged cocaine use and then quitting and then going back on it.
I don't know. I mean, from what I read, it seemed like they were not big on cocaine, to be honest. As I mentioned, I mean, maybe when they got older, but in the beginning they weren't into cocaine.
I'm not saying in the beginning. I'm saying like as they got big and Pantera, not beta Pantera, but Pantera took
Al-
off.
Alpha.
I'm sure when they're alpha mode, they were doing
Like
alpha
strip
lines.
clubs and fucking just partying all night.
Yeah.
There's got to be cocaine.
You gotta
Yeah.
stay up somehow.
Yeah, in your
Cocaine.
30s, you can't party like you
Without
used
cocaine.
to. So you got to pretend. And it's called cocaine.
I do gotta say that fucking asshole Nathan Gale really made it so I had to hear about fucking Dimebag for the rest of my goddamn life. Like, if he wouldn't have fucking shot him, Damage Plan would have put out another shitty album, and then eventually Pantera would have got back together, and they would have done a big reunion, and they would be like fucking Metallica right now, and put out a bunch of shitty music, and he would never be a god. He would just be another guitar player.
Yeah, they could have
That's
had
true.
the saint anger of Pantera.
They would have. They would have put out fucking Reinventing the Steel again, and
With power.
yeah, with power. Reinventing the Steel with power.
Yeah, I definitely see that. Like, Dime adopting, like, changing his style enough, wearing, like, a bowling shirt instead of the half clothes that he would wear on stage, and kind of being very professional about it.
He's a big
Yeah,
fan of
like
those camo shorts.
He rounds off the edges of his guitar and fucking
Just sands them down.
takes the pink out of his goatee.
Yeah. Or it gets so long, and I don't know. This is ridiculous.
So
Guys.
that's Dime. I don't think that he was sound like a fun guy, but I just kind of thought the story was fun, and bringing it.
Unfortunately, I think that if there is any real dirt on him, those people close to him will forever keep it that way. Like
Oh, yeah.
they're a tight knit group of fucking Southerners that aren't gonna sell out their boy.
Oh yeah, I mean you could tell even from like writing this and watching interviews there was probably a lot more shit that went down, but
Well, just things that you can't get away with today.
Yeah.
That they
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
we're pushing some boundaries. If you're hanging out at strip clubs that much, you're probably doing some maybe not okay things.
do you think if Nathan Gale didn't do his thing, we would have had a Me Too Darrell?
Vinnie Paul for sure.
Oh yeah,
I think maybe he at that point in time he probably was like, I need to fucking clean my shit up. My brother just got shot in front of me. He probably became a little nicer guy, but I bet you that there's some real touchy-feely shit going on
Oh, I mean,
in some of those strip clubs at the old fucking 19th hole or whatever.
yeah,
clubhouse.
the old golf in the ball birdie time.
Look, a lot of the things that probably weren't discussed by that author who wrote the terrible book were things that, like, all three of us are probably jealous we couldn't do.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, to some extent.
well, I'm talking about,
I don't know.
the Keith Moon-esque behavior.
Right. No, maybe not the Southern racist behavior.
I just don't have it in me.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not that funny, so I can't really just go around and paint the old rebel flag on things. That's.
I mean, I always like to salute Mussolini and say red power. So, big fan of red sauce.
Yeah, I could definitely
The Italian
do other
red
hate
sauce.
stuff. I would probably have to, side with Gene Simmons on some things, make a lot of business. Be like, I slept with 4,000 girls last year. L'chaim.
They weren't Jewish, but it don't matter. I was just banging them.
They're trash woman anyway. They were all Italian.
So that's Dime. Any other thoughts, guys?
Nope.
If you're a Pantera fan, just calm down, just relax.
chill.
Pantera's good, dude. Yeah, I agree with you. They got some bangers, fucking influential to me as a musician. But just cut it out.
Yeah.
Just relax. He's a guitar player. There's fucking better guitar players now. There were probably better guitar players then, but the internet didn't exist.
That's right.
Also, Dimebag did not dress well to anybody that's
No.
into metal. I mean, I had a friend of mine that has "I'm broken" written on his forearm, and he dressed exactly like Dime. He had the same kind of curly hair and shit, but not a good look.
Like cut off sleeves on a flannel.
Cargo pants.
Yeah, cargos.
With cargo camos. Yeah.
Yeah, no thanks. Go get a
Loose
shirt that
boots.
fits right, boys. All right. Also, fuck Gildan for ripping off so many metalheads of proper fitting shirts.
Sure, dude. That is, man, that hit me right in the heart. I know exactly what you mean.
Everyone
Those
who
shirts.
has supported one of their favorite underground bands, they know exactly what I'm talking about. Fuck those shirts.
Shirt that lasts for 6 months.
Fits like shit on day one.
Yes.
All right. Travis, thank you very much for letting me know, keeping me in my place. Okay. Dylan, thank you very much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
It's
man.
a lot of
Appreciate
fun.
your time.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're informed on this subject too. Made the
I didn't have to really do any research. I just lived it.
You lived it. Dylan, we have a lot of the same fans, but please plug your wonderful show. I'm a big fan of it. Everyone should tune in.
Thank you. NFHCpodcast.com. You can find any of the links to Discord, YouTube. We're on all the podcast players. Not for Human Consumption Podcast, if you search it on podcast, because we branded ourselves weird. You have to search the full name if you want to find it on podcast, but if you go to YouTube, it's just NFHC Podcast. You can find, we have full videos and all that good stuff. Lots of goofiness. We don't know shit. We don't teach you anything. We're like the complete opposite of this. We make you dumber, most likely. And we talk about cum and fart and shits and watch stupid videos and shit. It's good times.
I learned more about balls and things.
Yeah, and you will be on there, Travis, on this Friday we record, so I don't know when this one comes out, but you will be on our next episode.
Yeah, yours is going to be out earlier in the week, so if you're listening to Roast Mortem, just go listen to this week's episode of NFHC.
Hell yeah. It's going to be a good one. Excited about it.
I'm going to drink a lot and maybe show you my balls.
Fucking, man. Is it Friday yet?
Oh, boy. Thank you, Shane, for listening, guys.
Thankies.
Good night.